That is the best duck for flat ground I've ever seen. Oh my God.
Doesn't smell like two-stroke. You can hear that, eh? You can hear it, right? Everybody, thanks for joining me here at Power Mods. I want to show you something. Check this out. First time in 4-strokes in the old Power Mod shop. This new one anyway, right? Check it out. It's new. I didn't even know how to start it. I was looking for the glow plugs. Couldn't figure it out. How's your sound? You can hear me okay? Check this out. So I'm blocking that muffler, I'm blocking that exhaust, and it's still running. And this sled only has 4,500 kilometers or miles? It'd be kilometers, yeah. So this sled only has 4,500 kilometers on it. I blocked that exhaust, and usually that engine would stall out, right? But there's an issue with these. Even at 4,500 kilometers, these little exhaust flex pipes are toast, and we're gonna tear into that, and you're gonna see how these things break down. I mean, it's clever manufacturing. It's designed to obsolescence, right? Pretty much every Yamaha that goes out of the shop is going to need to go back into the shop 4,500 kilometers, 2,800 miles, or whatever the conversion is, to have all these things replaced. And I'll show you what happens to them. Just because we're here, we're looking at these things. This is the original unit, and this is handily cut in half so you can see it. So just the resonance probably, and just the back and forth and the movement of these, the hot and cold cycles, just sort of snaps the weld in there. Once that weld goes, it just starts to vibrate. Then these get cracked. The exhaust donuts go on them. You can see this is that little exhaust donut on there. These get worn out. Then they all start to leak. And everybody knows, all the Yamaha guys know that eventually you're going to have to get in there and get at them and fix them. So this is the fix right here. This is the Yamaha exhaust fix kit from FX Garage Works. Just a braided exhaust flex pipe, all welded up. I asked Kevin when he first showed me this. I said, "Okay, so how are these going to work on a turbo? Are you going to start losing any?" I mean, because it's flex. I mean, looks like you could almost blow through that, right? But he pumped this one up here to 3,200 psi, and it sort of elongated it and squished it out and made it all look kind of funny. But yeah, so it'll easily hold, I don't know, whatever you're running in your boost, 10, 12 pounds. You guys in the mountains, I don't even know what you're running for a boost on these things, probably more than that. But when you run into these issues, and I even saw it on my RX-1 and Keeley's, this is what people do. Come take a look at this. Anybody who's been into one of these knows. You know, this is the standard exhaust clamp on it. It's got this little spacer on here so you don't over clamp or over torque the fittings on it. So some guys take it and then they cut that down, right? And then when that's done, then they just take that whole spacer right out and then they just clamp it as hard as they can, hope for the best, and then everything gets euchred. So that way doesn't work, but that Yamaha exhaust fix kit does. So we're gonna tear this apart. You guys know how I love tearing sleds apart, but we're gonna tear this apart. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna show you exactly how to do it. And of course, we do sell these. And you can get them direct from us. You get them direct from FX Garage Works themselves too. But let's get at it and get our hands dirty. I've never been into one of these Yamahas, but they seem pretty simple enough. Bam. It is a fairly intensive job, but you guys know what you got to do it. If you go into the dealer, you're going to pay a lot because their shop rate. But you know what, if I can do it, anybody can do it. You're looking at 6 to 8 hours to do some of the machines. This machine here, we can probably get it done in about 4 hours. That's what we're hoping for. But if you get a couple guys working with you, somebody who knows what they're doing, probably hammer it out pretty quick. Just don't add beverages to the mix or it'll slow the process down somewhat. You might forget the odd little thing here and there. I love the Yamaha jokes about being overweight. But you can't beat the sound. You can't beat the speed. You can't beat the performance. you can't beat the reliability. I was just talking to a guy, my buddy. His machine has 40,000 kilometers on it. Pretty crazy. One of those. You kind of have to break into the heart of the beast a little bit. You got to get to those exhaust manifolds and pop those off, because you need to cut the ends of those pipe to make it all fit right. But don't let that intimidate you, fellas. It's not that bad. I've never been into one of these before. But look at that. It's coming apart fairly easily. You need to take all this gizmo off. Who would have known this would be the worst part? Oh, not him. There. Give her a little rock like that. There'll be a little bit of fuel leaking out of there. What a small gas tank. I mean, how far could you possibly go with the snowmobile with a fuel tank that small? Okay. Yeah. We're getting there. Oh boy, this is not bad. So, well, that's interesting. It's not too bad, but that clamp has spun all the way around. My biggest worry is when you're doing something like this, when you're getting into these sleds, especially sleds, man, are the exhaust manifold bolts. But if you do them right, you get them off. You take your time, you turn them out slow. If you just try to crank them, you're gonna break them. And guys get a little anxious when they're dealing with manifold bolts. I've seen it on Land Cruisers, trucks doing it. They're just like, okay, well, bang, and then you've got to start using the extractors and all that kind of stuff. But even on something like this, we could easily work those out. But I think, you know what, we'll do it slowly, and I don't think we're gonna have a problem. Oh, geez, she did. They have a hard life under there. A lot of hot and cold cycles and wet. Coming! Is that vein out? Magic spot right there. That's the spot. We got it. Movement right at those joints, right in here. I might be able to swing that around. Oh, look at that. I was hoping that'd turn that easy, because I gotta get that off. Look at that donut, it's gone. Not even existent. The donuts are 20 bucks or whatever they are. You can get copper replacements, but they just end up wearing out the manifold itself, because they're like a little harder material on that. We're just gonna cut that off. You don't need those clamps anyway. Bye-bye. Bam. Nice. Make sure when you're doing that you have a fire extinguisher handy. We're gonna drill out this bracket, because these are just gonna round out, especially if your machine's older. So just drill these out. The kit comes with the required rivets to re-pop this bracket back in. Now inside here there are two tunnel protectors. They're not in every sled. There are two little brackets that come up off these. I don't even know why they're there. These things are so rigid, but they're always built like tanks, right? So we just bent the brackets down a little bit, and then we just snuck this out. Recommend you use this ball socket type of flex, just because of it's a bit of a wonky angle. And use a 6-point socket if you got it. Oh, look at you. That was easy. It was easy. Well, that was way too easy. That's awesome. Thanks, Yamaha, for that one. We just put a little bit of pressure on the side of that socket just to make sure it was staying straight on there, because as soon as it starts to roll off, you're done. Take a look at these. Now, these ones aren't that bad because they're not that old. But the heads of those get pretty rusty, and then they just, they just start to lose material. And eventually a 10 millimeter is a 9 millimeter. If you run into a problem where you strip it out with a 10 mil, just hammer a 3/8 on there. But try to use a 6 point. A 12 point is not going to work for you because you're just going to strip it down and then you're not going to be able to punch anything onto it. There are your old ones. All right, so we're looking through our kit, and it comes with everything you need to put this thing together, including these instructions, of course. And it tells you exactly where to cut these. You cut them about 1.5 inches up from the flange, and you don't have to be perfect with it. You can do it with a hacksaw. You can use just about anything you got to hack that through. Not a big deal. That's my kind of hacking right there. If it doesn't have to be perfect, can be on a little bit of an angle because I got one eye. By the time I'm done doing something, it's always kind of crooked. Not good. We've got replacement rivets, of course, and here are the new bad boys. You're not going to have to replace these. You're not going to have to go in 4,500 kilometers or whatever that is in American miles. It's not going to have to happen. And these are fully sealed. You think that those flexes or flex couplers would leak, but they don't. So if you look at the way this is constructed, it's got the flex material on the outside, on the inside, and it's got a big kind of, I don't know what that is, serpentine kind of a dealie in there. But it's all welded right on the very outside, so it's actually a tight sealed unit. That's why you're not getting, exhaust leaking through there. That's why you can run the boost through it as well, right? Pretty handy. Okay, so we need to mark these 1.5 inches up, and then we need to look at that intermediate. Is it the intermediate pipe that we need to cut? Yep. Yeah. We need to cut this here too as well, Simon. And we just cut those right off the flange. Right there, boom. Just take that out. And that doesn't have to be perfect either. 1.5 inches. You know what, I'll do it on both sides. I'll try to make one meet the other. It just gives you enough material on there to clamp onto. That's where you grind them off. So this is what we've done. We've just taken a grinder and we've smoothed out the head of these old rivets that we had cut off or drilled out, and then we just punched them through. We added some heat to these little bolts here, so they're all loose now. We cut these off, and we've also gone in here, we've cut off these, the old flanges, and we just have to sort of deburr this because the new exhaust fix is going inside there. But we do need to notch these because when the clamp goes on, it's going to clamp around it. And that's the old flange that we cut off there. Bam, gone. Same kind of deal with this. You just want to deburr the outside of that. And that's just going to get pushed right in there. This is easy. So now to figure out where these go, or where you need to cut this back to, you sort of match it up, put a line on it, but don't cut right back to that line. Sort of make it one of those. But you got to do 4 of those, right? There, now we've cut all those up. That's excellent. That's perfect. So the further you go in with these, the better. Now it's time to install these babies. Now don't forget to put your gasket on, but also just make sure you orient your clamps the right way. Good. And this last clamp, I'm gonna have it on this side just to give me a little more room. But there's tons of room in here. I think if you're dealing with a 4-cylinder, you're gonna be maybe a little tighter in there. But there's gobs of room in here. I don't even know the torque specs. You're just gonna get clamped down till my vein in my head feels just the right way. But if you want to find the torque specs, you certainly can. Just grab yourself a manual online. That's what I always say. Usually, you know, this were my sled, I usually get the manual for every sled I get. So we're just going to leave the clamps loose, of course, until the very end, and then we'll tighten everything up once. You always know that clamps are last, right? Okay, we'll try that. That's where it's got to go. There, you stay there actually, Simon. I know it's a bit of a dog's breakfast of an angle to try to get at. I know my bracket's under there, but we just need to push this on further. So, oh, there's the bracket. Now we're ready to rivet those in. So these come supplied with a larger rivet, just because, I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but the older ones, the older rivets there, they have a tendency to sort of crack the metal and work their way through. That worked out great. Just about. When you change your oil, when you used to have to change your oil and change your exhaust donuts at the same time, it just doesn't make sense. These, you want to bump them right up to the front of the manifold. You want them pretty tight on there. If you're back really behind your notches too far, it's not getting that clamping kind of force you want on there. From what I can see, the fit between the flex pipe and the little manifold there is pretty tight. Nothing's coming through that. I think that's it. Everything else is pretty much the reverse of what we did to take it all apart from this point on. Really not that hard to do. We've been at this for about 3 hours. Would it be 3 hours? Including all our camera time?
Oh no, it's been 2.5.
Yeah, there you go. So we've been 2.5 hours at this, including camera time and whatnot. So you know what, 2 guys rolling on this, hour and a half on this. Now that's on this sled. If you're dealing with an RX-1 or some of the other older sleds, you have to do some of this work underneath the tunnel, so you need to drop brackets and whatnot. But as far as this one goes, that's a pretty easy fix and pretty clean looking. Look at that. That looks awesome. So I got to thank you guys for joining me as usual. Make sure you check out this Yamaha exhaust fix kit right here at Power Mod. You can also check it out at fxgarage.com. Kevin's a great guy to deal with. We first met him at the Toronto Snowmobile ATV and Power Sports Show, and he came up with this great idea. And I had to, of course, tell everybody about it. Oh, because of the gas. There's no leaking in that now. See? There's no way that thing will stall if you put your hand over it, man. Internet, you lose. Power Mods wins. So make sure you keep coming back. Hit the notification bell there. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. And don't forget to keep coming back because we enjoy having you here. Now we got to put this back together.